So, you decided to buy yourself a new machine, treating yourself to more productivity heading into 2024. That's certainly what I had in mind when I purchased my MacBook Pro M3 Max. And it certainly has delivered on its promise. I have become way more productive. I've started making a new game, this, that, and the other, doing way more YouTube. It connects to my phone. I can transfer files seamlessly between my iPhone 13 Pro and this thing. Life is good. However, some of the things I wish I had known before stepping into the world of extreme productivity, and that is the finances, the money. And, well, obviously, MacBook Pros aren't cheap. This thing cost about £3,599. I managed to get it for about $3,200 thanks to a student discount. Someone I know has a student card still, which, yeah, that saved me loads of money. However, upon taking it out the box, booting it up, and unplugging my Razer Windows machine, I quickly realized that all of my USB devices weren't compatible. Some of them just needed a USB-C cable, but others, they are not compatible with Apple Silicon. One of these devices is this guy, the Roland Quad Capture. This is an audio interface. It's what allows me to use things like this. The speakers that are behind the camera, they all plug into this box. This box is not what they call a Class A USB device. This means that not only does this device not work on my M3, but it won't work on any Apple Silicon machine. So, what's the solution to this problem? Money. You throw money at the problem, because I can't hook this thing up to this machine without a USB interface. So I purchased an M2. I think it's called Motu M2. And that sent me back about another £100. I did actually try to get this thing working using a different USB cable, because I thought, it just needs a USB-C cable to firewire. What's the worst that could happen? It just still doesn't work. That's what the worst could happen is. So I bought this new audio interface, which cost about £100. It's a good one, apparently. So far, it's served me very, very well. But had I not managed to find it for £100, it would have easily set me back like 200. And you don't want to be sort of cheap or frugal when it comes to these sort of things. You do want something that will last. For example, again, this quad capture lasted me about 8 years. I got a lot of mileage out of this thing. So very happy with this purchase, and hopefully this M2 will do the same. But it's not just the M2. It's not just the audio interface. It's also my webcam. And to be honest, this is a pretty fortunate thing that happened, because it's got me off my arse and using my DSLR again. And I'm actually recording this video on my webcam. So I'm using the Razer Kiyo Pro, and this is what it looks like. Not great at all. Now, obviously this works with my Mac, but it doesn't fully work. For example, if I used it on my Windows machine, I'll have access to the Synapse software, and I could, mess around with the sort of, whether it's wide angle, narrow, or this, that, and the other. I simply don't have access to those features on my Mac. There is some software that I've managed to find that allows me to, mess around with the autofocus, the picture quality, the brightness, the sharpness, etc. But it's not the same as the Razer software that comes on that you can get on Windows. So that's another setback. But again, it's a bit of a fortunate one, because now my videos are going to look 10 times better. But yeah, so I guess my point is that When it comes to purchasing something like a MacBook Pro, there's a lot of money that you have to put down, and part of this process is contemplating getting yourself comfortable with the idea of dropping over $3,000 on a machine. And sometimes we can be blinded by the promise of all this power and all this memory and all this performance and all the things that you can now do. But when you actually purchase it, you're gonna have to buy more stuff to get it to work, to get it to meet its full potential. I still haven't purchased a dock for it yet, and that's going to cost me about 200-300 quid. And until then, I can't use any of my old USB devices. For example, this monitor, this just a standard USB cable. Well, actually, it's a USB cable that goes into some funny port that I've never seen before. So I'm gonna have to find, either a USB-C equivalent of that cable, or purchase a dock. And buying a dock is, although the more expensive option, I don't want to just keep buying cables. Things get messy, etc., and it's just I don't like mess. I'm quite a tidy guy, despite what you're seeing in the background there. Anyway, I think that's going to be it. It took me a while to make this video simply because I needed that audio interface. I didn't want to use my Windows machine. It's just, it depresses me. So I got that interface today. It came in the post. So I'm back, baby, for the near foreseeable future. There's a couple of videos I'm going to do either today or tomorrow. Not quite sure if they're suitable for this channel, but we shall see. I'm not really fussed either way, to be honest. This is all in the name of good fun. There is no YouTube partnerships going on here. I was stripped of my partnership many, many years ago when they changed the rules. So, yeah, I'm not too annoyed about that. Have yourselves a great day.